Basically going to do rest pause. I'm going to do as many sit-ups as I possibly can, and then I'm going to rest for like 10, 15 seconds or something, and then do more. Do that for probably 5 sets or something. So.
And how you can do the same. Now, if you're unfamiliar with the 75 Hard program, it is. So I need your help getting that message out. So if the message is good,
so
it makes you laugh.
It's actually day 31 of the spring cut 2. Should have started a little bit earlier, but I didn't. But that being said, the misconception or the thing that I wanted to address was basically whenever I started the spring cut, like I was dipping into my caloric intake probably minus 500. So I was basically talking about how sometimes the scale isn't the best way to see and track your progress, because at certain times, like you're going to have water weight, and if your caloric deficit basically isn't that much, then you're not going to be really seeing a whole lot of significant weight changes from one day to the next, right? So actually water weight and a couple other factors actually will come into throwing that weight off while you're tracking it. But the thing is, like, I dropped calories even more to like a negative like 1,000 per day, and at that point I was able to actually find my kind of like my driest part of the day, which is about 9 o'clock at night. And whenever I start weighing myself at that time and I've got a more significant caloric deficit that I'm working at, then you can actually see those changes in weight from day to day. So I was saying that you basically need, if you can't really track it on the scale, then the next best way to do it is to do it visually in the mirror, but also with the tape measure. You know, take all your measurements before the spring cut, and then you'll use the tape measure to track your progress, because sometimes you won't see it on the scale. And also you'll see like you might be shedding some fat. You're also putting on some muscle too, so that will confuse the scale as well too. So it's like if you're at a very minimal caloric deficit, then that's going to be a pretty efficient way to track it next to the scale. But if you can actually go into the caloric deficit enough and then find a time in the day whenever you're like the driest, then you're actually going to be able to get a really good track on your scale, and then it is accurate, but only if you've got a significant amount of a caloric deficit that you're working at to actually be able to see the movement on the scale from a day to day, just from one day to the next, basically. And that was what I wanted to clear up. But anyways.
And it's not a double knot. When you're shooting to go out and get smashed in the face over and over and over with bad ideas or bad thoughts or mistakes.
And the harder part of the ab to build, your abs, is going to be like the lower abdominals. And on this, I'm trying to do the decline to target that a little bit more, but I'm also putting my hands on my stomach on the lower abs to make sure that I'm actually flexing that part of the movement and keeping it contracted really good. And put my hands there throughout the movement is a good way for me to, you know, almost like push against them with my, like almost flexing at the same time. And I know I'm talking about the maintenance range of calories, the caloric deficit, and all of that stuff. For one, it's a spring cut, so I'm going to be able to kind of point people back to these videos to really learn how to get abs and all that stuff. But really, it's something that I've been chewing on and thinking of a lot these last couple months, because I've had so many misconceptions about it. And I know if I do, I know what kind of bro science is out there and what's being passed around in the gyms as far as knowledge goes. And I know if I went through it, and I know the mentality that it takes to get through it, and why I didn't do it for a long time, and why I'm able to embrace it now, I know that that is a mindset that's applicable to everybody else. So I'm covering it in these videos and a lot of shorts. But also, it's just like I like working out the dynamics. It's theoretical, but whenever you actually go to apply it, does it work? And whenever you apply it, you got to still tweak it a little bit. You know, I started at like a negative 500 calorie deficit, and that was like okay, but I didn't really see the progress from one day to the next. And whenever you don't see the progress from one day to the next, it's easy to be like, you know, maybe a cheat meal might not be too bad. Like, it ain't gonna really make much of a difference. But whenever you dip into your calories like 1,000 calories negative, and you start seeing progress from one day to the next, like in a very significant way, then it's gonna allow you to limit like cheat meals and stuff, and give you more motivation to stick to your diet, because it's like, damn, what am I gonna look like tomorrow whenever I wake up? So even though I had the theories worked out and presented to me, like, it was still about applying them and then getting them down in a method that was actually applicable to me, and in a way that was like, you know, stimulating and maintainable over time too. So I like this aspect of the diet and nutrition, because I had so many misconceptions about it, you know, over the years, and I'm finally glad that I've got it all sorted out in my mind now, and I've got actual applicable knowledge. But so I'm excited to share it too, and yeah.
We see this with these things in society. I love that. One thing that I really love is,
man, and as somebody who's never had a six-pack at all, like, I actually got up this morning and I could see just a little bit of my bottom abs, right? And I was like, damn. I was thinking about it, like, dude, I've actually never in my entire life, and I'm 33, about to be 34, I've never seen my bottom abs, dude. Like, that's fucked up. But it was just kind of funny, man. On this movement here, I'm not really trying to go all the way up, and I'm not trying to go all the way back, because either one, top or bottom, there is a place where you're kind of resting and you're taking some of that tension off of that movement. So if I can stay somewhere in the middle of that, to where it's like complete tension the entire time, dude, it's like, I find it's going to be a little bit better. You got more of your tension compressed in a more compressed time, and you got more time under tension rather than those little bitty breaks. You can exhaust the muscle faster, and I feel like it would it ramps up the intensity, because you're collapsing that time window and you're just shocking it more all at one time. Alright, I'll do one more of these, and I know I didn't really do rest pause like I wanted to, 10 seconds, but I also wanted to get some of this stuff out of my head onto film for you guys.
Look to make adjustments, self-assess. Don't worry about the big failure that you wouldn't be shit. And you don't have to fucking.
One more thing too is, like, I could come up with 100 ab workouts. You know, leg lifts, flutter kicks, you know, bicycles, Roman chair sit-ups. Here's the thing, man. Like, if I'm still fat, I don't care how good and conditioned your abs are, you're just not gonna see them. So at this point where I'm at, like, I've got to work on the dietary aspect, because if I don't take that fat off, you're not going to see them anyway, so it doesn't matter how conditioned they are, okay? But another thing is too, you'll be surprised to find out that there's not this one exercise that you've been missing out on this entire time, and it's not until you find that exercise that you're going to have those abs that you always dreamed of, okay? You can get them with Roman chair sit-ups, you can do them with just regular sit-ups, with flutter kicks. You don't have to stand on a beach ball and do a one-arm jump squat, you know, to get defined abs or defined. It's like you're looking for that perfect workout. Well, there's not one. The perfect workout is one that stimulates the muscle the best, doesn't hurt you, and you can get a really good contraction on, and you know, you see progress from. So, you know, you just kind of pick on which one's best for you, which one is you feel like works out the muscle group you're looking to work out the best, and fucking push it to the max. That's it. There's not a special workout that you're missing, and the guy on Instagram, he's got it, you know. He might have a good one, but I'm saying, like, if you don't even have your diet down and you can't even see the abs, what the fuck is the point, you know? Yeah, you're conditioned, but if you want to have abs and you don't think that you're going to have a dietary aspect to actually bring them in to be visible, then it's just not going to happen for you. And that's one of the misconceptions I labored under for a very long time, that if I just do a bunch of abs and I work out really hard, then I can neglect my diet. But it wasn't until I got my diet right and my workout's right, my calories right, boom, now I'm starting to see progress visually and all that stuff. So I had to have all three of those things put together and working, simultaneously. All right, so if you're bringing up a weak body part, you're going to want to put them at the beginning of the workout. I'm going to do back. If I blasted back and did that all intense how I'm going to, and then I wanted to put abs at the end, I promise you would neglect abs. So it's best just to put them up front, get them out of the way, get them good and focused while you're fresh, and then move into your other workout, because I still got energy to freaking do it,